Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am the father.
Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about.
All right, all right. You're looking live at Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, I'm joined with my dad, my co-host, Cowboy Joe, Cowboy Joe 64 on Twitter, and we are back with another one with our Saturday Night Live. You want to say what's up to the people and kind of break down what we're gonna be talking about a little bit today?
What's up to the people? Am I coming in okay?
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the latest Cowboys news. Welcome to the Saturday Night Live show. We're gonna try to get in and put a little something out. We got some other people going live in the content creation community. We don't want to, kind of overlap people that might be tuning in. Show deference to some of the OGs in the space. I think I saw Big Time Show was on. I thought he did his show earlier, so he might have just came on late today.
Let me
And
see.
when I logged in, I thought I saw him live,
Let me see.
but
Yeah, he is live right now.
yeah. So that's the thing we try to do is try to come on and get in a space where everybody else is not doing their thing. But sometimes you kind of gotta overlap. And tomorrow, I heard from Big Game James. So we're gonna do a hit with Big Game James tomorrow. One of the OGs in the content creating community. So we're looking forward to that. So I kind of chatted it up with him today. So you ready to go ahead and get started? We can knock this out. I know you got a big fight tonight. Who is fighting?
Jerron Ennis and Stanley Onis. And also, what I want to kind of do on here too is, at some point, I kind of want to kind of peek over at Big Time Show and his show while we're on our show. I can put, I can share, how I can go to YouTube and share screen on his
Yeah.
show and see what he's talking about, and show some give our buddy some love on that, and so all our followers will be able to see who we're talking about when we say Big Time Show. But yeah, so um the title of this live is, are the Cowboys going golden? Offensive line, defensive line, um what exactly are they doing? So why did you what are you hearing about them going golden? I know I've been hearing a lot about them going golden, and what are you thinking about that?
So yesterday on Brian brought us, and shout out to him on one of his shows. He was kind of putting out some tea leaves that it might be a little discussion in the Cowboys front office about Golden or Tet. Which one do they like more? And I think it's a little bit of, Golden um, has some things to work with and forward to speed. But I think also something I thought about, what may be happening too, is the Cowboys may just be kind of facing the reality that Tet may not actually be there, and they got to plan their draft around Tet not being there, because I don't think he's gonna get past Carolina or the Saints. What up, B Bird? Well, we're gonna reach out to you as well. Appreciate you joining. But yeah, what if they're just kind of making plans as if Tet's not gonna be there? What do you think about that?
Um, I think a part of their biggest plan, their biggest strategy, if Ted is not there, is to trade for a receiver. That's why I think that Shotty was saying, like, um, that they're still in need of a big time receiver, or of a second, someone behind CD. They're in the market for a receiver, because and then he also coupled that statement with, we're not done yet in free agency. There might be a trade or something like that. And that's just because, if the ball if the board falls to where they don't get a first round receiver or second round receiver, then one of the options is to trade future picks for the receiver that's already solidified. It's a few names that's out there already that I would be okay with. And then you also have to look at it like um, the Cowboys are in a situation at 12. See, they're fighting. They're fighting against themselves because they don't have a third round pick. I mean, they don't have a fourth round pick. So they're fighting against themselves because it's going to be very enticing for them to trade back. See, if I was a team outside of the Cowboys, if I was another team, and I knew that the Cowboys didn't have, was it a fourth round pick? Yeah, they don't have a fourth round pick. They traded it for Trey Lance and Mingo. If I was outside of the organization and I knew that the Cowboys didn't have a fourth round pick, um, I would try to jump them in the first round and the second round, and I will offer them that pick that they're missing, and then
Mm-hmm.
that would be very enticing because you might get to 12 and Golden and Chet might be there, but you will have a team like the Seahawks that want to come up and they want to get somebody that's not even Ted. What's good, Lou? They might want to come in and get somebody like I was looking at Blogging the Boys, and Blogging the Boys had us trading with the Seahawks, and they had the Seahawks getting the defensive end, trading up to get Shamar Stewart. And
Wow, I would love that.
but see, I don't know. I would love that
What were we getting in return?
nah, well
Because
we just
they're at 18. That would be enticing to me. Now, trading down for
exactly
me, if I'm going
exactly
to 18,
right.
because keep in mind, I would like to know what they were offering in return. Were we getting a third? Were we getting a second? Because,
Ye-
in
mhm.
that scenario, you could trade back to 18. You're going to be able to get Ibuka and
Yeah,
Golden. You don't really know what receiver is going to be there. One of them is going to be there. Definitely Ibuka.
yeah,
And
I
if you can
agree.
get an extra third out of that, that's a terrific
Hmm.
trade. Now, my thought process is Seattle would be moving up to take one of the receivers because they've lost their two, top receivers.
That's
So,
true. So look at this. We're gonna check it out. So check this out. So this is what Blogging the Boys had to say. So Blogging the Boys said that the Cowboys trade send 12 and 6204 for the Cowboy for the Seahawks to get for us to get one. I mean, I'm sorry, for us to get 18, pick 18 in the first round, pick 82 in the third round, and pick 92 in the third round. And then that's a
man.
very enticing. But see, we're dealing with the Cowboys here. That's the enticing part is for us.
And
If
who did
we're
they have the Seattle taking with that pick? Does it say?
um, it says they would take. They said it's Shamar Stewart
And
is who
then
they
do,
would.
do they do they predict who we would take?
Yeah, that's what this says right here. It says that we would get Mike Green from Marshall, the edge, at 18. And then it says that Mike Green has some character concerns that need to be cleared up. But pairing him with Michael Parsons, Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon would give the Cowboys a fearsome foursome off the edge. Now, I just want to pause right there, and I want to say this. So, Eberflus runs a 4-2-5. This is what I wanted to talk to Lou about. So, Eberflus runs a 4-2-5. So, why would we be interested in getting the edge if all four of those players are not going to be on the field at the same time, if I'm thinking right? Because you have your one techniques that have to be in the 4-2-5. You have to have one techniques in the middle of that four, and then your two outside pieces are going to be edge. So to me, I'm saying to myself, that would be Micah and Marshawn Nealon, or Micah and Sam Williams, or Sam Williams and what's up, Keystone, and
Okay.
or Sam Williams and what's Dante Fowler. I don't see a situation where all of those players are on the field at the same time. So
Yeah.
even how it is now, even
Uh,
with us having a 4-2-5, if you're going, unless you're going to have Michael playing a linebacker role, and then
I think the idea is so a couple of things. Most of the content creators that we kind of talk to, nobody has us taking an edge because I think that's just not a realistic position that we're going to take. And then the second part of your question is, I think Eberflus, what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to design this defense to fit the personnel that he had, which is another reason I don't think he's taking the edge. So I just don't see that. Then now I do that the second pick they have was taken with this trade is Higgins. He is moving up the board. A lot of people are liking him here lately, so that would be your receiver right there. And then that third pick right there is terrific, Alfred Collins. So then who you got? Jordan James right here. That's another terrific pick. And then who is this right here?
Noah Williams.
Yeah. So the way this trade is lining up, this will be a really good trade. Who was go back to that? That was a linebacker right there.
No, that was a lineman, Emory Jones.
So yeah, I think that
Yeah,
I
so
just
this
don't think them taking. I don't think they're going to take an edge. But if
no.
they do, the answer is Eberflus is just gonna have to figure out the room is already stacked. So I
You know,
think
I would keep this trade the same. Only thing I would do different is I would take Igbuka or right here, or I
yeah.
would take one of the higher receivers right here, and then with this one right here, I would be taking my running back, and
But
then
what you could also do to keep it a buck, you do the same trade. You could take Booker at 18.
yeah,
You could come back and take Higgins. Now, what I would do in this draft that we're seeing is, well, you had the running back there. So yeah, this draft right here, it
more
looks a
exact.
lot better if you're taking, Booker, which it's somebody that I'm absolutely fine with taking if we end up going that route, or you can take, Ibuka if he's there. But boy, that trade right there, you're getting two threes.
Yeah.
That's a haul. So, but yeah, if you got something done like that, that would be a terrific trade.
hmm So that's what you're looking at. So as you know, so we are the Cowboys going golden. Now Golden is going up everybody's list because he ran this blazing speed 40. Now to me, I'm not picking him as high as I would pick Igbuka or Ted. You know, he falls in that third position with me. He falls in about the third range. I have it like Ted, Igbuka. Then yeah, me. Oh, Keystone said he take Burden over Ted. Now I would take Burden. I would take Luther Burden over Golden, but I wouldn't take him over Ted.
Yeah, you like Burden, and they
Yeah, I
all
like.
touching tags.
Yeah, they touching tags. You can't lose with any of them. What I don't want the Cowboys to do is, I don't want the Cowboys to get up in here and get sold on this prototypical receiver. Like like they want to replace Brandon Cooks, or like so they want that kind of fast receiver that can get over the top. And we're seeing that that's what they want. So that's why they like Golden, because they feel like they need a speedster, someone that can get over the top, when we know that we ain't never
What was Burden's 40? Do you remember?
I can look it up, but we just want playmakers. We don't really care about the if it's a speedster or not.
Yeah.
They want somebody that can get over the top. And like Brandon Cooks, McCarthy didn't even use Brandon Cooks like he was supposed to. Now we don't know if
Last year he didn't.
last year he did. We don't know if he was doing that by design or because he was,
And the
you
year
know,
before, that first year that the Cowboys had Brandon Cooks could have easily had more touchdowns, but him and Dak couldn't connect.
and then
But
he got Luther Braden ran a 4.41.
yeah, and so I've come to the conclusion as we get closer to the draft, the top four receivers that we're all talking about, if we come away with one of those guys, I'm really happy with it.
And so
About,
this is where I want to get y'all opinion, like Keystone, like Lou. Y'all tell me, B-Bird, y'all tell me. We always talking about we going for best player available, but are we not picking for need by doing this? Because we're picking for need. We're picking for need. We're saying that, like right now, I'm saying that right now, no matter what, I want to come out of the top two pick. Well, my first two picks, I want a top runner, a wide receiver, and a top running back. I don't really care. Now, it do fall. It just so happens to be that when we pick at 12, the receivers are going to be some of the best players on the board. That's true. And when you get to running back, same thing. You know, when you get to running back, they're gonna probably be the top 4 or 5 players on the board gonna be running backs. But still, I don't care if they were not the best player available. I would take Ted over Jalen Walker, or I would take Ted over, whoever
Well,
the
the two
top.
players that we're hearing now that you got to be concerned about if you're, to me, if you're Cowboy fans, this is where they kind of jump the shark on the draft. Is you're hearing Shamar Stewart and Walter Nolan. I hope somebody takes Shamar Stewart off our hands before he gets to 12. I think Walter Nolan has kind of failed a little bit. Um,
Yeah,
and so what Lou is talking about, and I agree with this. We've been talking about this in the content community. One of the things that's kind of put us behind the eight ball is the front office not participating in free agency, and
yeah,
them also, not wanting to go out and spend money like Lou is saying. So the front
yeah,
office has really put us behind the eight ball. That's why you got people on both sides talking the coin talking about, we need offensive line. We need to go offense, and one of the reasons is because you could have just drafted Matthew Bergeron and you took Mozzie. We talking running back because you could have drafted Devin Achan and you took Schoon.
yeah.
So the
And see,
last
and
two
see, Big
drafts
Bird
put us behind the A ball.
and Big Bird, they still might do that because because I think in my head I'm thinking that if they don't get a receiver in the first second round, that they're still gonna try to trade for a receiver. That's what I think. I think if they don't end up with one of the receivers that they want, like Ted or Golden or somebody like that, or Igbuka, if it's not the right type of guy there, I don't think they're gonna take one. If
I
they,
think the opposite. I think what's going to happen is if we don't get a receiver in the first or second round,
Mhm.
I think what they're going to do is try to say that Mingo and Tolbert are good
Oh
to
my
go.
god, I
That's
hope not.
that's what I think is going to happen because right now you're looking at if you got to go out and get a receiver, you're looking at uh, your guy that got in trouble yesterday with the Dolphins. I think he's out, and I think Keenan Allen, he would be the person that I would be trying to sign. But again, that's just not a move that they make. So it's going to be interesting to see if they get behind the A ball. What ends up happening is you know
What
uh,
Luke talking about? He runs route with tempo. We talking about shoddy scheme.
he's talking about Golden.
Oh,
So somebody might have made a comment about Golden. So man, I'm the top 4 or 5 receivers. If we get any one of those guys, I'm good. We just going to see kind of how it plays out. Um,
so let me ask Lou about this. So Lou, what you think about why was Isaiah Bond rated higher than Golden this whole time? Is Isaiah Bond better than Golden? Because Isaiah Bond was Texas feature receiver. It wasn't Golden. Now Golden, he was the playmaker though. But I just think that
yeah,
people
Golden, the game in the playoff games, Golden stepped up and just started making plays. Bond
oh
didn't
okay.
play as well. And
Yeah,
B Bird adds, would Philly settle for Mingo and Tolbert?
they wouldn't
No,
even be on 18.
I don't think Mingo would make their team. Tolbert will probably be he would be a fourth or fifth at best. I don't think so. No. Mm-mm.
Nah, he doesn't. He don't play like a 4-2 wide receiver because that's what I was saying. Who does though? Who plays like a 4-2 wide receiver in the NFL besides Tyreek Hill? No,
Xavier
nobody does.
Worthy does.
Xavier Worthy, that's a good combo. But
Yeah.
look at them. Look at those two players. Those two players, you know, and then like I said, guys, we have we have one of the fastest players in the league on our team that we never even use.
Well, hopefully Shotty will figure out a way to use him. But as I've said on one of our earlier shows, I'm not even really counting him in the wide receiver group. I'm counting him as a player that what I'm doing with
If
with
Turpin if Turpin was on Kansas City Chiefs, would he be like Worthy?
no, I think Andy Reid would be using him like I'm talking about using him. The way you use Turpin is You put Turpin in a game in just different situations, and you just get him matched up on a linebacker. You get him matched up on the third or fourth corner. Turpin is a true chess piece if you use him right,
Yep.
and it would literally be just times during the game where you would just bring him on the field, and they really wouldn't know what to do, and he just gets open and runs a nine route. So that's the way you use
Yeah,
Turpin.
I would use Turpin. I would say, yeah, no matter what, Turpin, you're gonna have at least 3 or 4 plays in this game. And we're gonna use them,
Hmm.
and you're not, and we're not, they're not gonna be the same play every game. It's gonna be, we're gonna feature you on 4 plays. And it's gonna be your play. We're gonna put them in the defense, whatever defense they run, we're gonna get you matched up on a linebacker, we're gonna get you matched up on a nickel, and we're gonna just Turpin will be Hardman in Kansas City. That's how we need to use him.
Yeah.
Like McCall Hardman. That's how we need to use him. And Turpin, man, he be performing. He a dog. He be catching the ball too. He be catching the ball. He about my size. He be
He's
catching
a
the
good
ball.
player.
He be getting
You can
flicked.
get him out of the backfield too.
You can get him out of the backfield for sure. You can just hand him the ball and he can go.
So we just
So
gotta hope that Shotty, really uses him the way that he should be used. So but so
so
so we kind of got some people making comments. So Lou says Bond was a one trick pony. So now Bond, you think he falls to the third or fourth round because of the incident?
yeah. Yeah.
It seems like he in the area when all this happened.
Well,
It's
you
kind of
know,
weird how these guys, a lot of stuff they just hear in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
this is a nice metroplex to live in, and then he wasn't here. He was in Austin, but it
But the
still don't
thing
matter.
said Frisco.
What happened with
It
his
said he
girlfriend?
got it was some kind of domestic
Altercation.
violence thing or something,
So
but the
also,
report said Frisco.
oh man, and then also, he was on it. His lawyer and them was on it. They came out immediately and was just like, "Nah, that ain't what this is," and that ain't. And when he came out like that, I kind of believe him. You kind of be
Mm,
50-50, but
yeah,
but when somebody come out like that, like, oh no 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 no, this is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I believe him, but I don't know if what do y'all think about Judkins as far as what as
I would
far as
love I would love to have him.
yeah, me too. And Travion Henderson.
I
I
got
would put
B Bird. I have Judkins and Henderson. They're my number two and
two.
number three.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
me,
DJ
I had
Jules over here. You like Caleb?
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I got him. I got him like this. I got him Ashton, then Caleb, then Omarion Hampton, and
I
then
forgot about Hampton. Yeah.
Judkins and Travion Henderson. Only reason why I don't like Omarion Hampton is because he's not a home run hitter. He's one of them guys that'll just run you over. He kind of like Zeke, like he just lower his shoulder. You know, he
Yeah,
don't
he
even
kind
try
of
to.
reminds all of these backs kind of remind you of DeMarco Murray. Hampton kind of it
Yeah.
fits that mold. He kind of runs straight up.
But he don't
Uh,
he don't he don't have no home run speed, and on top of that, you're not gonna be just lowering your shoulder in the NFL, buddy. You're gonna get smacked, and you're gonna, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying. So that's not gonna
but he's
work.
a good back though. I mean, I look,
I'll take
I
him
would
for
take him
sure.
on my team for sure.
Oh, I have no problem about that. I mean, he'd be on my team if I had to pick him. I do one even better. It's a on my team. He might get picked at 12.
Yeah, I think I'm in the mindset of my thing is everybody that's listening. I'm anybody but Shamar Stewart and Walter Nolan. If we end up with one of the receivers, if we take Booker, I'm also high on Simmons, the left tackle. If we end up with Hampton, I think Hampton at 12 is a little high. What I can't deal with on draft night is if we take Shamar Stewart or Walter Nolan, because what's going to end up happening is if you draft Shamar Stewart, our second and third round picks are going to be outplaying him their first year. So let's say you take Shamar Stewart at 1, you take Judkins or Henderson or Caleb Johnson at 2. You come back and take Alfred Collins in the third. Alfred Collins and your running back, they're gonna be out there making plays week 1 and 2.
Shamar
Shamar
Stewart.
Stewart, we're gonna be trying to figure out why he not getting a lot of snaps, why he not making plays, and you're gonna hear the where he needs 3 years to develop.
And on
So
top of
that'll
that,
be an
like I
awful
said,
pick.
like I talked, but with this defense that we have, Shamar Stewart is not. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Well, you don't need to draft an edge because, like we was talking about earlier, he
Yeah.
gonna be vying for snaps. He's gonna have to try to get snaps with Micah,
We
Sam
got Sam
Williams,
Williams and
Marshawn Nick,
Marshawn England and all of them out there, and you
and
got you got
Dante Fowler.
yeah. That
So,
come on, man.
and Dante Fowler's mindset, let's just
He's
get this
starting.
out.
He should be starting.
Well, not only that, at this point in his career, his last couple of stops, he hasn't been happy with his playing time.
He gonna be. He
So
gonna be
Dante
making mistakes
Fowler ain't gonna have no time,
to be trying to.
be trying to share snaps and do
Mm-mm.
all of this. And
And that's
so,
just not who he is anyway. He not
yeah,
that type of guy. He's the type of guy that he be if he not getting no snaps, he be on the sideline pouting, doing stuff like that. So he want to play and he deserves to play and he gonna play. That's who he is. So
have
we
you
don't
heard
need to draft.
anything about how Sam is looking?
No, I haven't. But from what I'm hearing, Sam is Sam. I mean, he is him. He just has that penalty problem, and that he just gets a little too caught up into the game. You know what I'm saying? And he just he'll just do something wild. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's just like, but still,
it's a
we know,
contract year for him, so you gonna get his best ball, and that's the
and
other
he ain't
thing.
never started either. And I think that he
Yeah.
gonna be this. This is gonna be his year where he gonna get a lot of snaps.
So yeah, Sam, Dante Fowler. If you draft an edge, those guys are not going to be. They're not going to have a positive attitude about this whole thing. So it's
So
really you just forcing it going edge.
this is what I want to know because I know about. We know we can look at Eberflus, and we can look at his system. He run a 4-2-5. We know Texas run a 4-2-5. We know Oregon run a 4-2-5. So we can look at like the defensive linemen like Harmon, like our boy from UT. What's the defensive tackle? Alfred Collins, Makuba. We know that they fit the
Tyleek
scheme.
Williams.
Tyleek Williams. We know that they fit the scheme that Eberflus is going to run. So that's cool. Now, my question is, what scheme per se is Shotty going to run? Because we know that Shotty has had his hand in the offense for the last 2 or 3 years, and we also know that um, the offensive coordinator that we got from the Cardinals, he had one of the top pin and pull, counter type of run games in the league last year.
Yeah,
So
you're all in Lou's wheelhouse. That's why we're gonna have
yeah,
Lou on so he can break this down
yeah,
on
that's
what
what I
this is
want to
gonna
ask
look
you.
like.
Yeah, I want to know what this is gonna look like, so that way I can kind of know what we gonna be needing to do, and who should we be looking for in the draft. Like for instance, I know on defense they're gonna be looking at Harmon, they're gonna be looking at Makuba, they're gonna be looking at Tyleek Williams, they're gonna be looking at those type of players I already know. So I want to know who they're gonna be looking for,
Well,
and
offensively,
yeah,
we've been talking about it. They're going to play Shotty is going to want to play a physical brand of football up front. That's where his dad's background is, Marty Ball.
yeah,
They were a very physical, run dominant team. So you're going to look at a team that's going to pound the football, try to hit you, physically with the line. That's what the both offensive line coaches that we
mm,
brought in.
yeah,
So one part of your answer is that we're going to be a team that runs the football and physical up front. And then I think what he wants to do with the passing game is he wants to probably open it up and do more than what McCarthy did. So I think that's kind of your answer. It's going to be a physical running game, and then he probably wants to, kind of open it up when we do pass it. Hey, I want to talk about this too before we forget. Then we're going to do a mock draft. So everybody's talking about Dak losing weight. He's we heard the report today that he's worked on his lower body. I still think that Dak needs to be conservative with his running situation. Um, I said he needs to watch cut-ups of Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. What Aaron Rodgers would do, if he needed 3 yards, he would get 3 or 4 yards and get down. And Russell Wilson would kind of do that too. What Russell Wilson would do, he would use the sidelines a lot. He was always running to his right or his left, and not so much running downfield. And you saw Dak do against Atlanta last year, where he just running straight upfield like Carl Lewis or somebody. That's how you get hurt. So I'm hoping that they coach him up to where, hey, just get what you got to get and then get down. Now, was Dak the quarterback that didn't know how to slide, or was that who was that didn't know how to slide? It was somebody.
It wasn't Dak.
Okay, but
It wasn't Dak, but Dak, Dak is just smart enough to know what he can and cannot do.
because that's what
And
really got Romo out of here, was he just kept getting hurt,
yeah,
and
I
we don't
mean,
want to
and
see that with Dak.
it's the spitting image. It's the same thing. It's the year. It's when they 10th year came around, their 10th year, Romo. This is the year that Zeke in Romo's career. This is the year that Zeke got drafted. Was his 10th year, and he was
So
coming
this
off
is
of an
Dak's
injury.
10th year.
Yeah, I think. Well, I
Yeah,
think a ninth, and he was coming off of a season-ending injury, and they
yeah.
drafted a running back to help him with that. And we doing the same thing right now. We drafting a running back to help Dak with that, and you
You got
know,
to be around to see the fruits of his labor, and part of that is I don't want to see him running a lot. I want to see him just getting what he needs and lining up for the next play.
well, see, Dak is smart enough to know what he can and can't do because last year he had a no contact injury. He just ran for 15 yards and his hamstring fell off the bone.
Yeah, and
So
he
he
was running
can't.
full speed.
Yeah, so that's just, like I hate that because, in my opinion, the league is going towards where you need a mobile quarterback and you need them to be mobile because, when plays break down with Dak, when plays break down, instead of him just taking off and running, he'll just throw an interception.
Yeah.
And so, or he'll take a sack. And, that just takes off, 30% of our game, because if we had Patrick Mahomes or you ain't even got to be fast. If we had Patrick Mahomes or you had any other quarterback that was a little
Yeah.
bit mobile,
And I forgot about Mahomes. When you watch him,
he ain't
he
even that fast.
basically he does the exact same thing. He gets out of the pocket, he slides left, slides right. Now, sometimes he will get upfield, but he's always running, uh, at an
Like
angle.
we just don't have that. Like when you be when I be watching Lamar and I be watching Josh Allen and I be watching Patrick Mahomes, it'd be like 3rd and 5, and they be like, I'm getting this 5 yards right now. Hike the ball. I'm finna run for 5 yards. I'm gonna
Now
get this.
Lamar will run down the middle of the field. He don't care.
Nah,
These
he don't.
smart quarterbacks, they run at an angle. They run
Well, Lamar
inside.
Lamar can do that because that's how he
Yeah.
made his fame. But it's just like we don't have that element to our game to where it's like we don't have something um that we can just say this is going to give us 5 yards right here right now. They can't stop it. We don't have that. You know,
Mhm.
like the Cowboys in the '90s. You can just run Emmett. That he gonna get 5 yards. You
Well,
cannot
but
stop
that's
him.
but that's where we're going. If we get one of these running backs that everybody is talking about, that's what our team is. And I've been saying it uh for our last few shows. If they do this draft right, I think you can compete with a lot of these teams. I think it's just going to be right there for the taking. We're not that far off. Now we do have to wait and see what Shadi comes up with. Offensively, what what his what's going to be his bread and butter. In terms of what he's doing offensively. So we have to kind of see how that's going to all come together. So let's do a couple of drafts, and
Yeah,
then
and that's
we'll.
why
How long we been on?
about 30 minutes. And that's why I'm gonna say this. I will be trying everything in my power to trade back and get another pick and draft Jalen Milroe.
Well, Jalen Milroe is going to go to the Raiders or the Steelers.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah,
You know, because you need somebody like that. You know.
and I think you got a guy. I do like the tools that Joe Milton has. I kind of like his makeup, and from what we're hearing too, he's extremely competitive. So you know, I agree. I agree with Big Bird. The running backs that we have a chance to draft, they're gonna make an immediate impact. That's why I say that if the Cowboys mess this up, our second and third round pick would be our best picks. Our first round pick, if they mess it up, our first round pick would be another player that we take, and they're just like, oh, give him 3 years, he'll develop. We
Mhm.
we should avoid that at all costs.
Mhm. Okay, so on the mock draft, they want us to trade back from 12 to 28 and pick up 60 and 102. Then we have another one where they want us to trade back to 17 and pick up 49 and give them 12 and 149.
That's the one I would do.
Yeah, so let's accept this one. See, and then I don't know what's up with this algorithm thing. Well, I think with the algorithm, they kind of like try to go based off of what they think is going to happen, because like on this one
Yeah.
right here, they got Shador still up here. Reject. I'm gonna reject the rest of these, but
I think Shador is going to go to the Giants or the Saints.
Yeah.
So who we got right here that we can get? Who's the top? All the receivers gone?
No, Egbuka and Luther Burden are there. Amarion Hampton is there. Mike Green is there.
What about O-line?
Booker's here.
Where is Booker? What is he ranked?
23rd.
Okay, yeah,
and Josh Simmons is here.
So I would take Ibuka
over Booker.
What? Who's rated the highest?
Booker.
Okay, we'll take Booker.
Or what about Josh Simmons?
I would take Booker.
All right. So now we can probably get Ibuka here. Oh no, we can't. He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, you got. So who's your top receiver?
Kenneth Grant is still here too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who's the top player?
Kenneth Grant.
And who's after
that? Trey Harris. Jalen Noel.
So this is kind of like a realistic look at what could happen if you pass on a receiver in round one. You're gonna be looking kind of thin.
This is what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier. This I think this is real possibility that it just happens like this to where
and they don't get what they end up doing. So who's your top rated player?
Kenneth Grant.
Who's below him?
Trey Harris.
I think you take Grant right here.
Yeah, I agree.
This is what they would do. So this is really what the Cowboys would be looking at. This is the type of draft that they would do.
Mm-hmm. And 49, you got 49 now. You know you can get Trey Harris, but you really got to get Quinshon Judkins right here.
Is Judkins there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you taking Judkins. So who's the top receiver?
Oh, I already took him.
Okay, yeah, you taking Judkins.
Yeah. And then now you're going to have to look at your receivers and see who's there.
You're at 76?
Yeah. And, you got Jack Besh. Tez is there. They would take Tez because of his coach.
I would take Tez because I think we need a different kind of receiver. All our receivers.
But look how far down you got to go to get Tez. I mean,
so who's at the top up there?
TJ Sanders, Jared Wilson, Jack Besh, Denzel Burke, Alec Ayomanor.
So Ayomanor and Besh, what are they? So Ayomanor is 70 what?
9 and Jack Besh is 74. A lot of people were saying that Jack Besh is better than what's his name? Savion. I don't think so.
Is Savion gone?
No, he's here.
How far down is he?
He's at 109 and you got Tez at 92. See.
So you going so Jack Besh is 20 spots higher than Tez?
Yeah. Yeah. He is 18 spots higher.
Go ahead and take Besh, which is
22. Yeah, 18.
They probably would take Besh.
Yeah. And me, I would take Savion, but
he's further down, yeah.
Only did 4 rounds, so that's it for us.
Okay, your next one you need to do 5 rounds because you gotta.
So on this draft, we got Tyler Booker, Kenneth Grant, Quinshon Judkins, and Jack Besh.
That's a good draft.
Yeah, our offensive line is stacked, and our defensive line just got a day one starter. He gonna start over Mozzie day one.
And this is a realistic draft as well. So let's do it again. This time go 5.
He said that's why receiver couldn't be our need. Yep, yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah, it cripples the draft. Sure does.
Yeah, so Lou would like this draft right here.
Yeah, I would.
You got Booker, Kenneth Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good draft.
Yeah.
And look, here's the thing, like what we said earlier. If this is your draft right here, Tyler Booker will start.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Grant is probably close to starting.
Mm-hmm.
Judkins is going to start. Jack Best is going to be a factor.
It is. So this is another. This is another situation that might happen here. On this one, they got Mimbu here. They got Jalen Walker here, and they got Golden here, and they got Derek Harmon here.
So here we taking Golden, which is what Dallas would do. So you're picking that was what pick? You traded to what?
I didn't trade at all.
Oh, that wasn't a trade?
No.
So Ted was gone?
Ted was gone.
Okay, so yeah, this is Golden. Now what you got here?
They want to trade back to from 44 to 62 and pick 109, but we're gonna give up 44 and 149. And then on this one, this one they want us to trade back to 59 and pick up a second next year.
Mm-mm.
So I'm gonna reject both of these. And now we got Golden. So now Walter Nolan is the top. Jalen Milroe is after him. Travion Henderson is 48. You're picking at 44. So that's probably
they would take Walter Nolan for sure. This is exactly what they would do.
Wow.
So
I did that. Took Walter Nolan, and okay. So now
you're in the third.
Yep, you got T.J. Sanders, Darius Alexander, Alfred Collins.
What running backs? Because you need a back now.
Well, DJ Giddens, Scatterboo, Bashul, 210 from Virginia Tech, Damian Martinez, and Ollie Gordon.
So go back to your top ranked players. Was Collins one of your top ranked players? T.J. Sanders, they both tackles.
Yep, T.J. Sanders is the top rated.
Who's that third? Who's that second person?
Darius Alexander from Toledo. I've been hearing about him. Broadus was talking about him the other day.
So, Alfred Collins and Walter Nolan, they're both one techniques.
Mm-hmm. I thought Walter Nolan was an edge, but
Walter Nolan's a tackle.
Yeah, he's a tackle. You're right. So yeah,
man.
I mean,
the best player probably is Collins.
That's probably who they would take. You think they're gonna double dip at the defensive tech, one tech like that?
I just don't think you'll be able to pass him up if you kind of, So let's just take him. But I mean, so now we in the what round? Fourth?
Yeah. Remember we don't have no fourth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So now we in the. Do we pick up an extra pick?
No. Okay. So now you got Devin Neal from Kansas, RJ Harvey from UCF, Moningay.
Who's rated higher, RJ Harvey or Devin Neal?
RJ Harvey.
Yeah, you're taking RJ Harvey right here.
And now you at pick 174.
Who's the highest rated?
Devin Neal, Elijah Roberts, Jack Kaiser. That's who they would take. The linebacker from Notre Dame, Jack Kaiser.
So this our last pick?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would take another back.
Devin Neal from Kansas is there. We got his coach.
I would take Devin Neal.
We got his coach, right? We got his line coach.
Yep. So who we got?
Matthew Golden, Walter Nolan, Alfred Collins, RJ Harvey, and Devin Neal.
Yeah, you double dipped at defensive tackle. I just think the talent is too good to pass up right there.
Yeah.
And all right, let's do one more. We're gonna bounce.
Yeah.
This time let's do it with no trade backs. Let's just see who's there.
Shador keep falling on all these. Golden is here. Jalen Walker, Shamar
Who
Stewart.
took Ted?
The Raiders.
And where did Genty go?
Whew, Chicago.
And who did the 49ers take?
Mike Green.
See, I think, man, I think right now, people that's watching the show, to me, this is more like what's going to happen on actual draft day. I think when the Cowboys get to 12, these guys that we're looking at here are going to be gone. And I think Golden will just be there and you just take him.
Tyler Warren is there too.
Golden is rated higher.
No, Tyler Warren is rated higher.
So how close are they?
Tyler Warren is 11 and Golden is 15.
I think they'll take Golden.
Man, Shador is there
Title
too.
of our show. They ain't taking Shador.
I would take Shador and I wouldn't look back. Matthew Golden they gonna take, and then oh no,
What happened?
I think I only did one draft, one round. I mean,
So go all the way to 5.
yeah.
And we're gonna wrap.
Ted is here, so we'll just take Ted. And they got Jackson Dart, Donovan Jackson, Josh Connerly,
What happened to the backs?
Trey Henderson. Their backs is Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson, and Quinshon Judkins.
So who you think they'll take
Travion Henderson.
over Caleb Johnson and Junkins?
Yeah. So
Go ahead,
Travion
take him.
Henderson. Now I wouldn't. I would take Caleb Johnson, but they tags touching. You can just pick either one of them.
Is Alfred Collins out?
Yeah.
Who's that person above him?
Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah, you taking Alfred Collins. This is a realistic draft. Then I'm looking for another back right here, but just see who's rated.
Teddy Buchanan, Malachi Moore, the safety. Devin Neal is the highest rated running back. And you picking 149 and Devin Neal is running 151, so that's probably who they would take.
Yep.
Or Malachi Moore, the safety from Alabama.
Let's take Malachi Moore, which I think it's possible that they would do that, and then you can get a back with your last pick, another back.
Yeah, I'll take Malachi Moore or Teddy Buchanan. You know, he's a linebacker there from California. Well, you know, we're gonna take the safety, and then with this pick right here, we'll get Devin Neal because he's still here.
Yeah, and I think this is a realistic draft. It's kind of conservative. It's not a lot of
You
stuff.
got Ted and Travion, so and Alfred Collins, so you got an A+ on this draft.
Yeah, I mean, this to me, this is realistic. This is definitely something that they can do. The question, Cowboy fans, is will they just keep it simple and just take good players like we did right here? This is what they should have did in 23 and 24. Your team is totally different. If they had done something like this, Lou, you could just take Booker and call it a day.
Kevin said if Shador is there, the trade back options are going to be hard to pass up.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
I think they should address number 2 and DT in free agency. That would have allowed the draft to be the best player available. Yeah, that's true.
That's what they should have did. They should have did that in 23 and 24.
Yeah, you should do that every year. And
we behind the 8 ball because that's not what they do.
They just
So we're behind the 8 ball.
We have to draft a receiver.
Yeah, we have to do this. I have to do that because, and HTM said something last night that I totally agree with. He said that he's just the 23 and 24 drafts to him, they're just a wash. Desmond Watson, the Florida defensive tackle.
I'm looking him up now because he's not on.
B-Bird had mentioned him before.
He did. Oh yeah, that's the big boy.
Yeah, he's the one that's almost 400 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take him on my team because why not?
Yeah, I don't, we got to see what round he would go in.
Yeah, I would take a fly
Yeah,
on him. I'd take a chance on
definitely.
him because he can
So,
just stand in it. He can snap the ball and just stand there.
yep. Well, let's go ahead and wrap. And B Bird, we definitely gonna reach out before the draft.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so yeah, it's been real, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get up off of here for today. And you know, it was live. I think we're gonna come on tomorrow.
Yeah,
Probably
we're gonna do something tomorrow with big
big
game.
big game
Yeah.
James. And then we supposed to be we're gonna do one for the draft too, like where we want everybody to come on. So we're gonna be on tomorrow and we'll chop it up a little bit tomorrow, do a couple mock drafts. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all make sure y'all hit the notification bell so y'all can see what time we go on tomorrow. Probably about like 6 o'clock, just like we did today. So y'all have a safe Saturday night and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right.